Hi everybody, welcome to Develop Your English Skills channel. Today we have also an interesting topic that all the teachers look for, which is classroom management strategies. What is classroom management and what are the important strategies that teachers should follow in order to manage the classroom? What happens when your lesson doesn't succeed? Here are a few classroom management techniques and strategies to help you regain that class control. The first the important strategies that we'll discuss in this lesson. When you're reading the other books of the classroom management, you will find many and the different strategies that teachers should use during the classroom. But in this lesson, I focus just on the important strategies that help the teacher to reach an efficient learning and to regain the control of the class. The first one, which is a lesson plan. How can a lesson plan help the teacher to manage the classroom? And why a lesson plan is an important element for managing the classroom. A pedagogical contract. How a teacher can establish a pedagogical contract. And what is a pedagogical contract? Why a pedagogical contract is an important strategy for the teacher to control the classroom. The last one, which is discipline and motivations. These are two important techniques that teachers should use in a suitable time. But if he uses it in a wrong way, he will lose the control of the classroom. For example, if he uses just discipline, he will lose the control of the class. And if he uses just motivation, he also will lose the control of the class. He should use both of them at a suitable time. So let's start with classroom management definition. It refers to multidimensional and varied ways in which learners' behavior, movements, and interactions are organized by teacher during the lesson to make teaching conducive to effective learning. So from this, we can understand that one of the main important role of the teacher is to managing and controlling the learners' movements, interactions, behavior during the class and during the learning process. As a new teacher, you might find some of your hard-prepared lessons do not go as smoothly as planned. Classroom management or loose class control is usually one of the main reasons for why this happens. It is easy for a new teacher to enter a panic mode when 30 or so heads aren't exactly listening to you. So what can you do? These strategies also helps, or the classroom management also helps the teacher to attract the attention of all the learners in order to reach an efficient learning. This is the definition of the classroom. Let's move now to why a lesson plan is important to manage the classroom. Before that, I can tell you that I gave a special lesson just to answering why a lesson plan is important. If you want, you can check out my previous lesson to understand and to get the answer of this question. Here I will just give you quick ideas about the importance of lesson plan in classroom management. Lesson planning has a great pedagogical value in that it gives both teachers and learners a sense of direction. For example, if teacher prepared before coming to the class for his lesson and he come with an efficient lesson plan, he will explain the lesson in a direct way with his or her students. He also will focus and use suitable strategies and techniques during the lesson. Next one, which is reduces problems pertaining to classroom management. Lesson plan also will help the teacher to reduce problems because when the teacher prepares well for her lesson, he will attract the attention of all the students, he will also make him so busy, because if a teacher make his learners so busy, they cannot have time to make problems or misbehaviors. But if the teacher not preparing for her lesson and doesn't have any lesson plan, he will be confusing of what he wants to learn, so the students will be so noisy during the class. Gives the teacher the opportunity to predict potential problems and therefore consider solutions. While teacher preparing a lesson plan, he will predict some problems that he might face during the classroom, and he will put and think about some solutions to solve these problems. So lesson plan help the teacher to reach an efficient learning, also to explain the lesson plan in a good atmosphere, because students will concentrating with the teacher explanation. This is why a lesson plan is important to manage the classroom. Let's move now to a pedagogical contract. What is a pedagogical contract and how teacher can build a pedagogical contract? A pedagogical contract is an implicit or explicit contract that teacher establishes with his students at their first encounters. The contract includes principally the rules of classroom. The teacher and students agree upon the rules and vote to obey them. Any violation of the rules would subject violator to a punishment which is determined by the teacher in concord with students. So a pedagogical contract is some rules that teacher and students put together. A pedagogical contract acts as a reference or law that a teacher relies on in case something undesirable occurs in the classroom. This contract will become as a reliance that teacher back to it and students also to perform a suitable punishment for a misbehavior. For example, if any students come with a chewing gum in his mouth, so what is the important punishment for him? Let's move now to how to establish a pedagogical contract with your students. It is vital that you get to know your students before you establish any contract with them. So the first step in the first encounter between students and teacher, that the teacher gives the opportunity to learners to present themselves, give their name, where are they come from, etc. This action will help to build a good relationship between students and the teacher. Also, the teacher will know more information about his learners. Once you do so, you can then ask them what must be done in the classroom. If the teacher asks this question to his or her learner, he will make aware of the students about the behavior that he must and mustn't be done during the classroom. Then you might kindly introduce rules, agree upon them with students, and then suggest punishment to those who violate them. So here also the teacher will after he will ask him about misbehavior that they should avoid during the classroom, he will ask them about some punishments, to suggest some punishments if any of them make any of misbehaving. For example, as I said before, that if any question comes with a chewing gum in his mouth or in her mouth, what is a good punishment for him? So the students might suggest different punishments they are agree with. For example, for example, as a punishment, this is just my suggestion, a student can clean the classroom for all the chewing gums that are stick on the tables, the walls, etc. So the important here that students will give and suggest some punishments they are accepted by them. If it is possible, you might even stick the rules on the wall of your classroom if you wish. So at the end, the teacher will have a misbehaviors list and their punishment. So students will predict before performing any misbehaving with a suitable punishment. This contract, it should be stuck on the wall because this action will help students that these rules are not forget about for a month or a year or a week. It will be a relevance for all the year. This is how to establish a pedagogical contract with your students. Also, you will now understand why lesson plan and how a lesson plan help the teacher to reduce problems during the lesson. Let's move now to the next, which is discipline and motivation. Praise openly, discipline privately. This is a key word that you should remember. Praise openly, discipline privately. Good teaching is a mix of classroom management strategies and interesting teaching approaches that motivate students. So to reach a good classroom management, teachers should mix between discipline and motivation. No one likes, here I will give you some important points that teachers should aware of and he also should use during the classroom in order to reach and to use discipline and motivation in a suitable way. No one likes to be disciplined in front of others. As much as possible, take the positive discipline conversations to a private level. Be clear about expectations and avoid nagging. Even if a student becomes agitated and yells, and this does happen, the teacher must still remain calm. Yelling at the students only escalates the problem. Students appreciate teachers that stay calm in control. So here, the most important point that teacher in all the problems should be remain calm. Because if the teacher loses control of himself or herself quickly, students will not respect him at all. Even if a student make a misbehavior, the teacher should be calm and control of himself to know how he should behave with him. So if a student make a misbehavior, the teacher should talk to him privately first of all, and for example, tell him that you are make me surprising that you make this such a bad action. For example, just to punish him in a tactical way. The next point, which is often students misbehave when they have problems to deal with. Keeping this in mind, if a student is disruptive, it can help to take the student aside and to privately ask if everything is all right. Let him know his behavior is surprising and out of character and he is causing concern. If a teacher lets a student know she cares, it often resolves the behavior issue. If there is a problem, the student now knows there is someone to talk to about it. The main point here is that teachers should be a friend of his or her learner to know their problems, because some students just making some problems just to attract the attention of the teacher. So first of all, teachers should talk privately to these misbehaving students and try to know his or her problem behind this misbehaving. The next point, which is everyone loves to get recognition for things done well. When things go smoothly in the classroom, praise the class. If an individual does something that shows good behavior, praise the student. When the praise is scattered around the room evenly, no one will feel the teacher as a pet. So here, the main point that we can understand is praising. Praising or motivating is a good strategy that teachers use. If all the students make a good behavior or getting a good mark, teachers should praise them. If one just of them make a good behavior, teacher also should praise him, because motivation and praising add a good flavor atmosphere during the classroom, also make a challenge between students. Effective classroom management begins with positive teacher, firm procedures and routines, and a technique that show respect to the students. With these in place, there will be very few behavior problems. So here that a good teacher is a smiling and a calm teacher during the classroom, not a nervous one and nervous and sad one. Because when you become calm and smiling, you will feel that learners calm in their learner too. Also, teachers should avoid the misbehavior. For example, drinking tea during the classroom, or talking in the phone during the classroom, etc. Because these small things give a bad image about a teacher. So he should also obey the rules of the classroom. Students also should know what the every steps of the lessons, because if they know all the steps, which called also a routine of any lesson, they will help you to control in the classroom. This is the lesson of today. I explained for you why lesson plan is important in managing the classroom. Also, what is a pedagogical contract and how a teacher can build a good pedagogical contract with his students during the first encounter, because pedagogical contract help the teacher to reduce many problems. Also, we deal with motivation and discipline. I give you many points of disciplines and motivations, how the teacher should use all these techniques during the classroom in a good way. Also, the thing that you should remember is the teacher also should respect the rules during the class. He can't punish students if they make a misbehavior and he make it. It becomes so guilty. It gives a bad image about the teacher. So see you soon, inshallah. Don't forget to press like and subscribe and share with others.